Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Breakfast Show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is episode 100. It's not that special, it's Wednesday. So we have some things to talk about. First of all, good morning and good whatever to everyone in the chat. We have some things to talk about. Of course, the Oracle news that came out yesterday, or the report suggesting that, well, this whole AI thing might not just be profitable. That's why we've seen some stocks dip yesterday. We have some Rocket Lab and AST Space Mobile news that we have to talk about. And also, we've got some comments from Jensen, because I do think that he just appeared on CNBC. And then we'll touch on a couple of extra things here, as always. So, for everyone joining in right now, drink a cup of coffee, tea, whatever, and we'll get right into this. Sell Iron, please, is going to the toilet. No, Iron is going to the moon. By the way, Ariel, thanks for rejoining us. Just remember that we have a bet going on with regards to AMD. So don't forget it. Don't forget it for the rest of the year. So to start it off, we shall have a quick look at what has happened yesterday. So yesterday, this is how we closed out the day. No, this is pre-market, sorry. Yesterday, this is how we closed out the day. Way more red, of course, than when we ended the stream. So Oracle went down 2.5%. We've got Google down, Microsoft down a little bit. Arista Networks is down. Tesla was down 4.4%. They released a so-called new Model Y and Model 3. Pricing-wise, I don't think it's that appealing. To be honest, I was sure it would have been a bit cheaper. But this is the market's reaction. Okay, we'll see what's happening right now. Pre-market, it's fine, and pre-market across the board, we are okay for now. Although we do have some big winners. Pre-market, AST is up 13.3%, Rocket Lab up 5.5%, CoreWeave up 2%, Nebulous up 2%. We do have Iren that is down 3.4%. On the convertible note announcement from yesterday. We've seen this happen with all of the other players out there. They're just taking advantage of, well, the situation right now. And it makes sense, right? This build out doesn't come out of thin air. So they are taking advantage of that. We've seen what has happened when Nebulous has raised, right? Not that long ago. Stock dipped a little bit, and then we went further up. We are seeing this with a lot of other companies, right? They're taking advantage I believe AST did the same thing or sort of the same thing yesterday or 2 days ago. They're taking advantage of the high stock price. It's smart. It's what you want from management, using an expensive stock to raise some cash to invest in the business. It's a smart thing to do. It's been happening throughout the year. And I do think that as long as we continue to go up, and as long as all of these companies need a lot of money, need to invest quite a lot in their business, this is going to happen more and more. That's just the way things work. Simon, thank you very much for becoming a member. I do think you were already a member, I think. Maybe not. But anyways, thank you very much. And this is a common mistake. AST did not join Verizon. This is a partnership that already existed. So we shall go and look at the announcement. AST SpaceMobile announces definitive commercial agreement with Verizon to support space-based cellular broadband across the continental United States. This again further expands the strategic partnership announced in May 2024. Right? If you've been following AST SpaceMobile, you knew that Verizon was already one of their partners. They're now just expanding it. They did say that they're going to provide direct-to-cellular AST SpaceMobile service when needed for Verizon customers starting in 2026. Early, mid, late, we don't know. But this is the announcement right now. This is just an extended partnership that we are getting here. Of course, it is a big deal. Verizon is quite big. By the way, Verizon, you know who's the new CEO of the company? Dan Schulman. Yes, the same Dan Schulman that was CEO of PayPal before. You also know who became the new executive chairman of Verizon? Oscar Health's CEO. Aha, I bet you didn't know that. It's fine because it just happened a couple of days ago. So we have Verizon new CEO Dan Schulman, previously PayPal CEO, and Mark, let me pronounce his name correct, Mark Bertolini, CEO of Oscar Health, becoming the new Verizon chairman. So voila, now you know. And also a big thanks to Michael here for becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate that. So yeah, that's the big news here for AST. It's quite interesting because AST did previously drop a little bit on the announcement. I think it was also maybe a convertible note or something else. But yesterday it went down a little bit, then it recovered. And today we've got this announcement. So we're up 12.8% right now. Rklb also up another 6% pre-market. What happened with Rklb? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, you didn't ask. You're just watching the stream. But that's why we're here. That's why we're here, ladies and gentlemen. But Rklb as well, I'm going to pull up the exact announcement. It's another Electron win. We are all waiting for Neutron, but Electron is still doing what it should be doing. So they're up 6% on a multi-launch deal with IQPS. The significance of this deal is back expanding Rklb's presence in satellite launch market alongside Elon Musk's SpaceX and Amazon's, Blue Origin. So Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. So that was the news here for Rklb. I mean, the news just keeps on coming in, positive news, that is. So that's always good to know. But I do want to say that probably a lot is priced in. A lot is priced in with a lot of these players. Yes, even Rklb, a lot is priced in. Pricing in the success of Neutron, because as you know, Neutron, we still don't know much about it. No test, no anything. So we'll see. I do expect some volatility in the coming months because we are close to the end of the year and we should have our first Neutron test launch this year, unless it's delayed. And if it will be delayed, of course, the stock will take a hit. Now, No. He's still CEO of Oscar. He's now just the chairman of Verizon. You can be CEO of a company and be a chairman of the board of another company. Dan Schulman is CEO of Verizon. Is Rocket Lab my all-time best for now? Excluding Tesla, yes, I do think so. Yeah, I do think so. I mean, up since my first shares, I'm up, what is it, 1200% or so. AST not being profitable is not the case that you are going to make here, because there are plenty of companies that are not profitable today. The case that you can make here is that they barely generate any revenue, and a lot of future revenues are baked into the price right now, right? Saying that a company is a short or not a buy because they're not profitable, you're going to skip quite a lot of big winners, because a lot of companies do start as unprofitable companies. It becomes a problem when you're not seeing a path to profitability. Then I would agree it becomes a big problem, because 5-10 years from now, if they're still not just AST, but a lot of other companies, if a lot of these companies stay unprofitable for long periods of time, then yeah, of course, it becomes a very big problem. But yeah, we had some comments from Jensen. Unfortunately, I do not have CNBC, and I'm not going to wait until they post clips of it. So here are a couple of comments. So he urged investment in power generation for data center. Makes total sense. He said that China is way ahead on energy and we are way ahead on chips, we meaning the United States. The United States overall is not far ahead of China on AI. And here we got a little pump for CoreWeave. My favorite recent investment was CoreWeave. Only regret is I didn't invest enough. He said the same thing about OpenAI, by the way. He also said that the tool user industry is a $100 trillion industry. I guess we're just throwing out numbers these days. They're always looking for startups to invest in. He wants to be part in almost everything Musk is involved in, probably only companies and less about politics, but okay. They are already an investor in Elon Musk XAI, because yesterday there was that report about that, XAI and Nvidia. He did say that OpenAI doesn't have the money yet for the deal. They will raise through revenues, equity, and debt. He did say that OpenAI's revenue are growing exponentially. They regret they didn't invest more in OpenAI earlier. I believe he said it in an interview with, can't remember with who, but he said that they had the opportunity to invest, but that was before Nvidia became a cash-generating machine. And then, of course, he repeats the same thing here. For every gigawatt of compute, you need 50 to $60 billion to reach that, which, of course, they are going to be big winners thanks to that, because it doesn't matter how much the flywheel goes round and round. Nvidia plays a crucial part in all of it. So those were the comments right now from Nvidia CEO Jensen. Nothing that new, I would say. Nothing that new for now. The Jensen interview is already on YouTube. Well, that was quick. But anyways, these were the comments. One of my favorite things from Jensen is the more previously it was the more you buy, the more you save, and now it has evolved into the more you buy, the more you'll make. So it's a nice little evolution of the quote to support the current state of this AI situation. We've also had this yesterday, right? Internal Oracle data show financial challenge of renting out Nvidia chips. Oracle became the best performing mega cap stock of 2025 after its executives said last month that the once sleepy database firm will generate an astonishing $381 billion in revenue from renting out specialized cloud servers to OpenAI and other AI developers over the next 5 years. And so basically said that the margins aren't there, they're losing money right now, etc., etc. And so everybody came out and said, "Oh, you see, we told you, that all of this was pure BS. You're not going to make any money with renting out GPUs, etc., etc." Nebius went down. I believe Core went down a little bit. But then we already had a little correction from Fox saying that the fears are overblown and it's not correct. And I'll give you an example because we are still early on in this whole investment cycle. So let's say you buy a piece of land. On that, I of course pivot to sports as always. On that piece of land, you are building a paddle court, let's say. It will, of course, take time until you become profitable. It will take time until your return on investment makes sense, right? Because you have to repay probably a loan that you took out. You have to pay electricity. You have to pay maintenance. You have to pay back a certain amount of money until you reach a point where, oh, okay, margin wise, this actually makes a lot of sense. Same thing here. You cannot conclude that, okay, right now they're losing money, so they will always be losing money. No, margins improve over time. And when we actually look at Nebius, if we just go back to what Nebius told us last quarter, right? You don't even have to go, okay, you cannot go back that much, but we'll go back to what they told us last quarter. So, Nebius Group core AI infrastructure business achieved positive adjusted EBITDA in the second quarter, ahead of the previous projections, and is anticipated to remain positive through the remainder of the year. This reflects disciplined operations amidst hyper growth, with AI cloud infrastructure revenue increasing more than 9 times year over year. Now, at the group level, the adjusted EBITDA is expected to turn positive by the end of the year, though it will remain negative for the full year 2025, with a projection for positive group adjusted EBITDA starting in 2026. It is important to note the reported GAAP net income profitability for the quarter was primarily driven by a one-time gain from the revaluation of equity investments. Okay, we knew this. But again, you can see here that things are trending in the right direction. It definitely helps when you are a full stack solution, when you are vertically integrated. Then, regarding specific product margins and return on investment, the company aims for healthy margins on per hour compute basis for its GPUs. For a current Hopper generation, Nebius expects to break even on a gross profit level within approximately 2 to 3 years, encompassing both hardware costs and associated operation expenses. Now, this estimate does not fully factor in potential impact of higher margin software and services revenue, which are expected to shorten the return on invested capital as they scale. Looking ahead, pricing trends for Hopper GPUs have remained relatively stable. However, the upcoming Blackwell generation GPUs are expected to be priced at a healthy premium, suggesting potential for enhanced margins from these newer offerings. The company's strategy involves leveraging strong demand and increasing capacity to maintain and improve these margin profiles, particularly as new high-performance GPU become available. So, not all companies are built the same. Not all GPU renting companies are built the same. Some will have higher margins than others. That's normal. Just like with any other industry, you will have companies that just have higher margins than others, probably because they are vertically integrated, probably because they also offer a software as a service. And so here with Nebius, again, yesterday, I do think that we have overreaction. Overreaction and scary titles. Some people are, you see, I told you this AI thing is just pure BS. Well, I don't think they will be celebrating for that long. They had their one day or their couple of hours, and that will be it. And that will be it. Of course, in the future, things will be clearer. We're still early days. It was almost 3 years ago that ChatGPT came out. only 3 years ago. And so I do think that we're still early in this cycle. We are nowhere near the top, or at least for now, we're not close to any top out there for the big cycle, I would say. Certain companies, as you know, I do think that they are in a bubble, but the major ones, no. It would have been, first of all, thank you, Matthew, for becoming a member of the channel. Um, really appreciate it. And no, I cannot love paddle more than tennis. Although I did play paddle yesterday, it was a pretty good one, but I still like tennis more. Anyways, there is a reason why they call it exactly. There is a reason why they call this the most hated bull market, because the data did show that retail bought the huge dip earlier this year, and institutions did not. A lot of people did miss the rally, for sure. A lot of people have been sitting this cycle out for a while. And so, of course, it's easier to say that every month we are at the top of the market, every month we're in a bubble, every time it's the dot-com bubble, as I've shown you in yesterday's video. Paul Tudor Jones, right? 5 years ago, January 2020, the title of the interview was, "We are very, very close," or "This is extremely similar to 1999. The title of the recent interview 2 days ago, same thing. "We are very similar to 1999. So at every time we're close to 1999, and we're never actually experiencing a dot-com bubble crash. That's interesting. That's interesting. But know what you own. That's the most important part. Know what you own. I know what I owned back in 2021, 2022. And I can say for sure that I don't own this amount of trash anymore in my portfolio. When I look back to what has happened, as an investor right now, I don't understand how greedy and stupid I was just a couple of years ago. But then again, you could say 2020, 2021 were not normal years, which they were not. But I don't own companies that are trading at 100 times sales, or a couple of those that think that can go up another 5, 10x or so. It's completely different time. I do think that 2022 was more like the dot-com bubble than today, because 2022 you had rates that were going up quite quickly, or starting to go up quite quickly. You had NFTs selling for millions of dollars. You've had unprofitable companies trading at God knows what valuations. You have overvalued companies today, just like you always have them. But I don't think that the overall market is as bad as it was 3 years ago. But anyways, Shift 4 got a outperform rating from Mizuho, but the price target did get cut by $7. Still represents 28% upside from the price we're at today. Bull is down 7%. Okay, we're gonna have a look at some of the names. We're gonna have a look at the names in a bit. Why do I have to go to Nebraska? Hello from Nebraska. I thought maybe I had to go visit Buffett or something. He's from there? From Omaha. The Oracle from Omaha. Yeah. Anyways, the reasons why they have this price target and they did cut it by $7 is as follows. Modest estimate cuts ahead of the earnings report. International headwinds in Japan amid wait, did it reconnect or disconnect? I think we're good now. I think we're good. Anyways, lower spread expectations, payment volume remains resilient. And then they say your price target lower to reflect reduced fiscal year 25 estimates. I think we're back. No, I think we're back. Yeah, okay, we're back. Very good. So still, he lowered the price target by a little bit, but they're still seeing 28% upside from the price we're at today. And I'm not disagreeing with him. Of course, I'm biased now that I own the shares. But if we go back and look at Shift 4, right now, stock is up 0.3% or so. This is the trend line. So it did respect it over the last couple of days. And it's been respecting it actually since the lows back here, October 2023. So it's a very cheap company. I know the is cheap right now after the acquisition of Global Blue. Jared Isaacman is not CEO anymore, but I think he still owns 25% of the company. So that's fine. But okay, I understand some of the fears. I just think it's one of those too cheap to ignore type of names, which is why I bought it. Plus, I do like fintech, as you know. I do like some fintech names. Then we've had a positive note on CoreWeave. So Evercore ISI reiterates outperform with a price target of $175. The reason here, business model seen as durable despite investor concerns on profitability, multi-year take or pay contracts. The average here is 4 to 5 years to drive visibility. It's the difference between them and an Iren, for example. I think Iren went with around 2 years or so. The co-CEO, co-founder did say that the reason why they're not currently willing to look at co-locations deals that are 10 years out is because, well, you don't really know what they will need 10 years from now, since a Hopper, a Blackwell, a Vera Rubin require different type of solutions. Some might require more energy, some less. So having those 10-year deals to them sometimes doesn't make much sense, unless, of course, in the deal, they do have the flexibility to change things along the way. With CoreWeave here, the Nvidia backstop that was announced a couple of days ago also helps here. GPU monetized beyond the 6-year life, right? This is also a question about the depreciation aspect of all of it. The thing here is that people think that after 5 years the GPUs go into the garbage, but currently that's not the case. All of them have been talking about the fact that Hoppers are still high in demand. I believe they even talked about A100s being still used and in demand. Of course, for the frontier models and maybe video generative tools and whatnot, you will need, of course, the best of the best. But for a lot of other things, inference-wise, I don't think you need the latest generation of GPUs. Of course, you can make the argument that the reason why you would want the latest generation of GPUs is because of the total cost of ownership, is because of the energy required. Because TCO, total cost of ownership, does become and is extremely important. So if you're going to see that, oh, actually, okay, Hoppers are still selling, but my return on investment with Blackwells or with Rubin, for example, is going to be much higher in the future, I might just order a ton of them and phase out Hopper. Could happen, of course. Could definitely happen. But like I said, we are still very, very early days. I mean, not very, very early days. I do still think we are early days right now. Barclays maintains overweight on Robinhood. Robinhood Markets. It's funny that it's called Robinhood Markets. Raises price target to $162 from $120. It's an increase of 35%. And not too bad. Not too bad. What else? So this was for those. It was about to cover this company, Confluent. So it's a software firm, cloud related as well, and apparently they're exploring a sale after receiving a takeover interest. Stock is up, I believe, 20% or so. Let's see, Confluent, where are you? Yeah, stock is up. Actually, now a bit less than before. Okay, 15% was up a bit more before. So 15%. I don't know who owns it, but if you own it, well, congratulations on the short-term gains, I guess. Maybe you wanted an exit and now the market is giving you one. But yeah, I was about to cover it. Now there's no need bought. But if not, then maybe it's interesting to cover that company. Joby, some people were asking about Joby. They also dropped, so gross profits of approximately 513.9 million is expected. So yeah, they also here sold 30.5 million shares at $16.85 per share. How much are shares worth today? Yeah, okay, so that's probably why you were at close to $19. So now the stock did drop a little bit. You know my thoughts on Joby and Archer. Exciting stuff. I will have exposure through Uber because I do think they will just list these things on Uber if these things really become a reality. But do I really want flying cars over my head? Like I said, no, I do not. That make quite a lot of noise. I do not. Jose is vacation slash semiconductor conference for the week. You can join from here. You can join from here and then ask questions along the way, I guess. So currently, what we have is still AST up 14, Rocket Lab 6, the CoreWeave and Nebulous up 2. What is PayPal doing? Okay, PayPal. Okay, so yesterday, the downtrend line, yeah, it seems like PayPal currently is still above it. Most importantly, it's still above the 200-day moving average. Talking about PayPal later today, I will have the talk with Emir on the channel later today, 7 p.m. European time, which I assume is 1 p.m. Eastern. I think so. So 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm going live again with Emir, talking about PayPal. We'll talk a bit about SoFi as well, his expectations and estimates on the company. It's going to be around 1 hour. It's going to be live, so there will be time for a Q&A later in the episode. So once we're done with the live stream, I'll prepare I'll schedule the upcoming one. So whoever wants to join later, this is going to happen. PayPal and SoFi is going to be on the menu, and maybe something else. But I think under an hour would be interesting to talk about it will be difficult to talk about more companies. So that's that. Who's down the most? That's Iren right now, not by much. We're basically at the same price as we were yesterday intraday, which is just under $60. Would not surprise me if when the market opens we are going a little bit lower. What is going to be interesting is how fast they're going to close it, and if it's going to be oversubscribed, how much they are planning on raising. Because for those that don't know, this was announced yesterday, basically. $875 billion aggregate principal amount of convertible senior notes due 2031. They expect to grant the initial purchases of the notes the options to purchase for settlement within a period of 13 days from and including the date the notes are first issued, up to an additional $125 million. And here as well, just like with Nebulous, they are going to buy the proceeds here. This one, yeah. Iren intends to use a portion of the net proceeds from the offering to fund the cost of entering into the capped call transactions, as described below. We've seen that with Nebulous and many others. You reduce the dilution that way. So this is the reason basically why Iren is down a little bit pre-market, and so voila. Unknown producer, thank you for a super chat. I'd like to give you credit for some of my gains. Well, thank you very much, and congrats on your gains. Congrats on your gains. Yeah, it's a bit like it's a bit like PayPal. It's a bit like Alibaba. Alibaba was also the unmovable object for a long period of time, but the object has moved, and it has more than doubled this year actually. So if you look at Alibaba, let's put the weekly so we don't have to zoom out that much. This is basically it. This is the start of the year. Where is it? Around here, $81. We're now at $181 for Alibaba. Yeah, Roberto asks, well, I guess you will see. I guess you will see later today. But you probably see me already when talking about Palantir and all the other companies. Would love to know your thoughts on Airbnb. They seem to me like forgotten member of a duopoly and very undervalued. What duopoly exactly are you talking about? Are you talking about Bookings, the other company? Because I can add Expedia to it as well, and all the other hotels. But Airbnb is a company that went public at the best time, I guess, for them, not the best time for investors, right? Because if you look at what has happened since they went public, underperformance, right? It went public at around this price, actually a little bit more, and it's still at the same price a couple of years later. Yes, it went higher at some point, but it also went a lot lower. It's also a company that previously was growing much faster than today. It's a very profitable company, free cash flow wise, but I don't know. Something is missing. Something is missing. Lack of new products, I would say. I said it a year or so ago. I don't understand why you don't have a genius program like you have with Booking, like a membership to make sure that you come back. I don't know. I had a whole bull thesis on Airbnb, what they could have done to make sure that they would grow a lot more. Bookings has done extremely well over the years. Extremely well, as you can clearly see. Okay, this is going a bit too far. But yeah, Booking has crushed it over the last couple of years. Because, yeah, hotels for a lot of people, and actually Bookings right now, it's one of the companies I want to cover this week. 200-day moving average usually can go a little bit under it, but usually does respect that. It's a very, very good company. Hotels are, again, getting a bit cheaper than Airbnbs in a lot of cases. And so it makes sense. I see here someone, Stefano, asks who uses Expedia. A lot of people, actually. And also all the other companies that Expedia does own. The last time I covered Expedia was around, I think, here, 115 or so. Was extremely cheap. Extremely cheap. Then we've had the Uber acquisition rumors that pump up the stock. I think this happened somewhere here or something. I don't know. But yeah, Expedia as a business has been doing very well. It's profitable, and it was very, very cheap. Very cheap before. But Airbnb growth days, many cities want. Yeah, but again, it's a lot of headlines because many cities you have to actually look at what's the percent of revenue that comes from that specific city. Second of all, a lot of the reasons behind banning is just so bad. So bad. It gives people opportunities to make more money, which in turns mean that you can have more tourism, which of course means that in a lot of these places where the economy might not be that great, they make a lot of money from tourism. But if you start saying that tourism is bad, how exactly are you going to support your local economy? Spoiler alert, you're not going to support your local economy. And then Daddy European Union will have to come and bail you out again, which means that my tax dollars will go to help you out. Hypothetically, but not really hypothetically, because that's exactly what has happened with Greece, and I think Portugal as well, over in the last decade or plus, or something like that. But the problem is that it is expensive. That's the problem with Airbnb. Is if you're not going with a family or a large group, you're better off just booking a hotel room. Hello, Mr. J. Welcome. But yeah, that's the problem. Cleaning fees, of course, the huge cleaning fees that come after it. And again, think about it. There are some Airbnbs. Let's say you go and you book $200 a night. A hotel, $200 a night, which you can get a lot of nice hotels, I think, for $200 a night. But you get the cleaning crew, right? They come and every day you have a nice room. For $200 a night, I assume you have breakfast. Maybe you've got a pool. So when you think about it, a lot of times you're like, okay, screw this. I'll just go to an hotel. It makes more sense. And that's the thing. And that's the problem. Plus the lack of, I guess, innovation in certain things. They did say that they want to launch new products that could generate them $1 billion in revenue. Okay, we'll see which ones these are. I guess advertising, sponsored listings could be one of those. Concierge service could be another. I still don't know why they don't have an AI travel buddy included in the app. I don't understand why they don't have partnerships with Uber Eats, because it could be like a full-on travel service. Like you tell the AI chatbot what you're looking for, what's the price, what's the dates, how many people you are, and then it searches everything, which is basically what you will be able to do with AI agents across Google Chrome, Gemini, or ChatGPT, or Perplexity. And then in Airbnb, it finds you a couple of locations. Let's say you say, okay, that's a good one. Then it starts to add the other services. It's like, okay, you'll be arriving at 4 p.m. Would you like us to make sure that you have an Uber driver at the airport waiting for you? Yes, great. Would you like to order some food from Uber Eats already, so you already have it in your Airbnb when you arrive? Yes. Okay, great. I don't know. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's like this added partnership that add a lot of value. Don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. You can ask me. I'm 31. I know I don't look like someone that's 31, but I am. Young in spirit, old in gray hair amount. But yeah, that's Airbnb. I used to own it. Of course, the way I'm talking about it right now, you understand why I do not own it anymore. And that's okay. That's okay. We are not married to stocks. And if the story does change, then yeah, the story changes. Shark Ninja. Yesterday, some people mentioned it in the chat. Today, I see it as well. Shark Ninja is down. Shark Ninja is down quite a lot, actually. It is oversold. Is it again tariff impact? I did try to sponsor to help Shark Ninja. I bought my my blender. It is a Shark Ninja blender. It's down 28% since August. So yeah, I don't know what has happened with it, but let's maybe try and find out. Because the last time we checked Shark, again, it's a good company. It's a good company that's growing. There's nice margins actually as well. Let's see if I can find something. Might be tariff related or not. I don't know. If someone knows something about it, let us know. Let us know in the chat. We had a board chair that did sell some shares back in August. But that's it. Why is Shark Ninja stock down? Let's see if little Google can tell us something. Anxiety over inflation, investors have been selling shares of the company that rely on consumer spending. In this rush for exits, high quality operators like Shark Ninja have been unfairly grouped with weaker peers. Aha. Okay. My blender is down 28%. No, my blender is saving me quite a lot of well, not yet, because I still have to repay the amount of juices that I made are not yet enough to repay the whole the whole thing, but it will. But it will. Um, not touching any consumer stocks, tariff, and job losses. You're asking for trouble. Yeah, yes, but again, it depends on how big the tariff hit is on a company like Shark Ninja, because maybe they do have quite a lot of things coming from the United States. Because if we look at the company itself and the financials, if we look at revenue has been growing. Let's do last 12 months. Last 12 months, it grew 23.5% to $5.8 billion. And what's expected is the following. What's expected is this. Growth declines to around 10.4% in fiscal 27 for now. Gross profit margin is at 48% for the last 12 months, and that's been increasing. So that's good. That's good. Of course, with these types of things, you might say, okay, it's just because they've got new products that are launching, and that's the momentum that you're getting right now. Could be. But I am yet to hear someone say that they're not happy with their Ninja products. Plus, this is free cash flow and free cash flow expectation. So pretty good growth expected ahead. PE, trading PE 25, forward PE 16.9 times. Let's see what they said at their last conference here. Let's see. Any tariff impact? We'll see. I guess that's the easiest way to find out. Rise of the Phoenix D-Local, a $10 billion company by, I don't know, can be 2026, can be 2027, but it's definitely going to be a $10 billion company in the future, for sure. Do you still recommend? I don't recommend anything. I just share my opinion. I still own Oscar Baba. Hello, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. I think we are back. I don't know. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. This was very strange. Let's see if I can. We are back. Yes, we're back. Huh. This was very strange. Apologies for that. Because usually if we crash, then I can't even see the chat. But the chat was going on, the stream was not. So my internet is fine. I paid the bills, the internet is fine. The streaming service is not fine. The streaming service is not fine. And so to go back to the question, what was the question? What was the question? Plus there was now this week I answered already. I bought more Rubrik and Shift 4 yesterday because I like it. Then as for Shark Ninja, I think we talked too much about Shark Ninja and the stream was like, what is this? What is this? We go back down. Why Restream over OBS? Because OBS is because Restream is on the internet. It's much easier on the PC. Although I could connect OBS to Restream. But yeah, something to look at. It's very easy to use. Like it's like go live and you're done. Go live and you're done. Okay, but we are back. We are back. So tariff for Shark Ninja, they said the following thing. A new world where China-sourced products face elevated tariffs level ranging from 30 to 55%, while products from other countries like Vietnam, Thailand, and the rest, 19 to 20%. In response, they diversified their supply chain over the past 4.5 years, successfully achieving its target of sourcing 90% of production outside of China by the end of the second quarter. So this is a strategic shift that they've been doing. So they are still, I guess, going to get impacted by tariffs, but not as bad as expected. So that said, maybe it's an opportunity for those that want to buy Shark Ninja right now, because it does seem quite cheap. It does seem quite cheap, and people do actually like their products, which is a very important thing. But there are better names out there, I guess. There are better names out there, I guess. WYFI. Is that the white fiber thing? What? Yes. Huh. I'm very good. White fiber. Who has a stake in white fiber, or white fiber has a stake in another company? Something like that. Because I've heard this name before. I've also heard Hive. So does Hive and white fiber have something in common or not? But yeah, I think I just heard this name because the chat mentioned it the last time or a couple of times. But yeah, someone has I think a stake. One of the companies that we know has a stake in white fiber. Maybe it's Hive, maybe not. I don't know. Other than that, let's see if we've got some other news that came out. Broadcom, $400 price target for Broadcom. We do have, I think, end of October, maybe November, we do have Salesforce Dreamforce event. Bit Digital. Okay, Bit Digital, they own 80% of it. Thank you very much. So Salesforce has a big event coming up. And some analysts think that that might be a catalyst for the stock because they're going to show Agent Force, the growth in Agent Force, maybe saw some partners, big clients that use it as well. And that might suddenly make the stock move up. I believe yesterday we've seen one analyst come out with a $400 price target on Salesforce. It's quite high. Let me actually see if I can find it. Because I do think there is value in Salesforce. Of course, they're not growing 30, 40, 50% or so, but they are expected to experience an acceleration in revenue growth. Plus, they're still very profitable. Margin-wise, it's a very good company. And here we had yesterday, Truist buy rating $400 price target. That's a 66% upside from where we're at right now. It's worth looking. I mean, for those that are maybe on the fence of buying the hyped names out there, had to add the S at the end. Salesforce is one of those that did not play with the upside just yet, with this whole rise in AI names. So Dreamforce happens mid-October, which is next week, maybe next 2 weeks or so. Could be a catalyst. Could be a catalyst. They did say that Agentforce will become a growth driver, I believe, fiscal 27, because they are already in fiscal 26. So could be that. And we are about to open the market. We are about to open the markets. So let's make sure we've got everything set up. And we are going to go live almost. I think 5 seconds, maybe a bit less. I don't know. And we are live. Voila. The markets are open, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, 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 ding. Bing, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bong. We are open right now on Wednesday. This is the current state of the market. Focus on the list right here. As you know, the heat map does take a minute or two to notice that the market is open. Also, Roberto, happy 100th episode couch, landed on my birthday along with United Health breaking out. So, congratulations, happy birthday, Roberto. Second of all, congratulations on United Health breaking out because you hold December call options $350, which means you are printing money today. Although I don't know how much, where United Health is at 366. You asked yesterday when is it going to go above 360. I guess happy birthday. We are at $366, $16 above your strike price. I assume this is your birthday gift from Mr. Market. This is your birthday gift from Mr. Market. So congratulations. And of course, thank you for all the support throughout the last 100 episodes and hopefully for the next 100 episodes. Connor, you have a football pitch in your picture. The stadium looks familiar, but I'm not going to try my luck. So let me know which one it is. But thank you for a super chat. Thoughts on physical gold mining stocks for hedge? I mean, gold is already at 4,000 and something right now, so I don't know how much of an edge you're getting today, although it has always been a defensive play. But look, for defensive plays, you can just buy bonds in case we crash next year or whatever. I'm not that much into the gold or mining. You mean like physical mining stuff? Not that much into it. Matthew, thank you for the super chat. Happy 100. Thank you very, very much. And no, I do not. I specifically paused and said football because soccer does not exist. Soccer does not exist. So we have here AST up 16, 7, almost 17%. Rklb up 10%. Nebulous 3.6. CoreWeave 3. Micron $190 again, so up 2.3%. Shift 4 1.8. Zeta at 2.7. Okay, Zeta is now still around $20. That's good. Hood 1.1, Applied Digital, which report tomorrow. So I have not much to say right now, other than we have to wait tomorrow about the earnings report. We're going to get quite a lot of information from it, especially in relations to CoreWeave and maybe some future potential deals. Who knows? So that's Applied Digital. SoFi is up 1.3, HIMS 2.2, almost said Nvidia, but no. I still don't understand why some people call it Nvidia. It's like you never heard someone mention the name Nvidia. Duolingo up 1.2, Rubrik 1.3, United Health 0.8. I was like, this is bad because I'm almost at the end of the green list and I've still not mentioned PayPal. And that's because PayPal is flat or down, but flat. It's down 1.1%. Uber is basically flat. Reddit, Google 0.1, 0.2. New Holdings 0.3, down 0.3%. Oscar 0.5. Intel is down 2.7. I believe HSBC came out with a reduced rating on the stock because it went up too much in anticipation. Well, not in anticipation. The Nvidia deals and all of the other deals. So it went up too much. That's the reason why. And they probably missed it. Iren is down 4.2% at the moment. And so, as always, we can now have a look at the other names that are not on the list, because you can only add 30 names to a watch list for in the free version. Salesforce is down 1.3. Salesforce is down 1.3. I'm still waiting for Connor to tell me what stadium his picture was at, but he doesn't want to tell me. Doesn't want to tell me. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So let's start with Sezzle. Sezzle is at $84. It's up 1.5%. I don't own it, but I like it. Also, especially since we are here, basically creating a base very close to the 200-day moving average. I understand people that do not like buy now, pay later's pure plays, but it's a small company. It's growing extremely quickly. Affirm is a very, very good name in the buy now, pay later space. I have PayPal as well as a buy now, pay later option, so I'm covered. GitLab is still $46. Still $46. Chime is probably still 21, 22, 20, so bad, down 2%. Can't catch a break. Cannot catch a break here. So Chime is now down 54% from the peak of the first day. Not bad. Not too bad. What else? Dave, another fintech. 207. Okay, that's up 2% today. Figma has been doing quite well over the last couple of days, and today it's up another 6%. Okay. Figma is up 26% over the last week. Okay. I guess this right here, $50 was the bottom for the market. They were quite happy with that. Adobe is still $350, $349, so that's not moving that much. Going back to Figma real quick, as you can see, it is closing that gap from the last earnings report. Very important to note. Do I see? Let's have a look at some questions here. And Hutios van Buurman. Well, Hutios back. Couch Investor, you see Nebulous continuing their super guidance Q3. I do see them actually, beating probably. And then when we talk about the ARR guidance for the year, I do see them beat, like coming above the $1.1 billion. I do think so, yeah. Plus, of course, everything changes with the Microsoft deal. So we will want to hear a little bit more information on that. CRM a bug at this level, a buy at this level. I mean, it's been a buy at the levels for a while, but it doesn't move, right? So if you want to wait for for a catalyst, I guess maybe the upcoming event is one. You said, some of you said that. Whoa! What happened here? Webull is down 6%. Okay, let's check it out. Lance, thank you very much for the kind comments. Appreciate it. And it's my pleasure, of course. Let's see. Okay, so apparently the 180-day lockup period ends today and means that insider selling can also take place. Okay. They still have that $1 billion standby equity agreement with Yorkville advisors who are not that reputable. So I guess maybe that weighs on the shares, maybe. Because other than that, I can't see anything. Wrong with the company at the moment. So maybe it is purely because of the lockup period and maybe some selling pressure. Although I don't know why insiders would sell. Because the business has been doing well. Let me actually try and find some of their latest earnings. I know some people liked it at first because it might be the next Robinhood. Don't think it will be, but it doesn't have to be the next Robinhood. It just has to be a good enough business. So let's see. So this was Q2. Revenue up 46%, operating expenses up only 20%, adjusted operating profit also has improved year over year. This is their roadmap. So they're expanding in Europe and Latin America, re-entering crypto, registered users and funded account. Of course, you would like more funded accounts and more activity on the platform, because registered users can be free users as well, just to use the screener or the watch lists or whatnot. That has been one of the issues. When I looked at the business. Net deposits in Q2, 1.5 billion, up 37% year over year. Customer assets did increase in Q2. In Q1, because of the crash that went down. Trading, okay, that was all fine. Options contract up only 8% year over year, though. Yeah, I mean it's a solid business. The question here is, were the expectations too high for it just because people compare it to a Robinhood? Maybe so. But today I didn't see anything specific other than the lockup period. Being over today, I think. Although, let's see. Yeah, no, okay. Makes sense. All right, PayPal down 1.1%. Of course, it was too good to be true. But like I said, if it's important to stay above the 200-day moving average. And that's the case for now. Would have been better if we went up a little bit more. We do have 20 days until the next earnings report. What do you think about taking profits on Uber and use the proceeds? No, I like Uber. I don't want to take. I mean, taking profits is one thing, but Uber is not such a huge position for me that my profits will suddenly make sense for me to open a position in Salesforce. Plus, I still think Uber will go up in the future. I am still in BMNR. Yes, I'm still in BMNR. Still have my 100 and 169 shares in BMNR. My average in it is, I'll tell you, 44.33. Voilà, that's the average. $169, 44 and $33. I will not increase my position. I will actually maybe do a quick update video on it maybe later today, because I have been seeing a ton of BMNR videos, a ton of people talking about this, and unfortunately, nothing much has changed. Okay, it's we still get our little updates. Okay, great. They're buying more Ethereum or whatnot. But fundamentally, the thesis is still the same as it was a month ago. Tokenization of the financial industry and things running on the Ethereum network still hasn't happened. So there's no point. There's no point in endlessly talking about it until something changes, which is why I have my exposure, my position, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with that. Nebulous, up 5.8%. Yes, we did have a. I will pull it up. I thought some Chelsea thing popped up on my feed, but it wasn't. It was just a someone with the badge. So Manuel here with a nice update. Goldman Sachs updated scenarios for Nebulous. Bear case $85, base case 137, and bull case 283. How do they reach that? Basically, this attractive 4x risk reward despite our conservative assumptions for key long-term metrics. So they're using here Nebulous 2027 EV to sales multiples. Base case 7x, bear case 4x, and bull case 8x. 2030 Nebulous group revenues of close to $9 billion for the base case, $6.7 billion for the bear case, and $19.7 billion for the bull case. What the heck is Restream doing today? I don't know what Restream has today, but we're still live, right? Or not? I think we are. No, I think we're back. Or I think we never left, but there's something wrong with this chat in Restream right now. To activate chat, please enable channels. The channels are enabled. What do you want from me? But okay. Very strange. I don't know what's wrong with this chat today. But anyways, this is basically what we have for Nebulous right now. The price target is 120. Was 120. They raised it to 137 and keeps a buy rating. And then the reason why is what I've just shown you, which is why the stock is now also up 3.8% right now. AST is up 20. So we're closing in on that $90. On that $90. Well, actually now we are at $90. We are now at $90. Unfortunately, I cannot pull up the chat in Restream anymore because for some reason the chat has disconnected. Fortunately for you, I do see it in the YouTube studio. So there is that. Very strange day today, Restream. Not appreciated. Not appreciated that these things happen when we go live. But okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. United Health, Roberto, look at this. Look at this. Look at this thing that you're getting here. Nice birthday present. $370. Very nice. The question about the PayPal options, you're up 100%. I don't know what your strike price is, and I don't know what the expiration date is. So depending on that, I guess we could answer your question. I'm also up, or at least yesterday I was up 100% and 200% on two contracts, two options plays. I am still waiting, yes, because I do think we should be going up way more on PayPal. What's up with Reddit? What's up with Reddit? Didn't I have? Here it is. What's up with Reddit? Reddit is pulling back. There was also some news about traffic being down or searches through Google, because Google did make, I think, some changes there. So Reddit takes a hit here. Plus, let's be honest, I personally don't like Reddit that much. Lots of echo chambers there of some very strange things, to put it lightly. Plus, Reddit did go up very, very fast before, right? If we go here end of July, it peaked here mid-September. It doubled, basically. And since then, it has come down by 30% or so. We're still not oversold at the moment. So you've got $110 June 2026. I would keep it. I have $100 June 2026, and I'm keeping it. Yeah, so traffic being down through Google and OpenAI. Yeah, because that's the report, right? Because it was said that OpenAI showed less Reddit sources than before. I think so. With regards to my Intel options, I am, of course, very much in the money. But I still have the benefit of because I don't have January 26th. I have January 27, $30. So I do still have quite a lot of time. I know that time decay can still eat into the premium, but we are only in October 25. I still think that we might be getting some foundry announcements for Intel, and that should push the stock even higher. I did already take half of it off the table. So the rest I'm keeping right now for at least the next couple of months. But yeah, if we were October 26, I would have sold it all already, for sure. For sure. What else? Even SoFi is down right now. Okay. SoFi is down. Oscar is down 1.8. That's good. It can come down a little bit more, so I can buy a little bit more after the subsidies rumor that came out. Rubrik is back at 80. So yesterday we've got it touched the 200-day moving average and poof, recovered. So that's good. Shift 4 up 0.8, the local 0.5, still in the $14. So that's okay with me. PayPal is down 0.3. Okay, it's fine. BMNR is down a little bit, Intel is down a little bit, but that's about it, right? Even Iren is not down that much. I thought we would be down a little bit more, but we're not. We're also still waiting for Iren's monthly reports to come out. It's going to be interesting to see how much they generated from the Bitcoin mining business and from the AI cloud one. Because then we can start to see, okay, that's how fast they are growing the AI cloud business. We could maybe start calculating a bit what we could be expecting and if it's achievable, their $500 million ARR by Q1 26. AMD up another 4%. Yep. AMD up another 4% because yeah, the momentum is there, I guess. SBET, another Ethereum treasury, one that has not gone up as much as BMNR, right? I guess let's put September 25th. Let's see. September 25th. Okay, didn't go up that much. But it's also one that's been accumulating Ethereum, way less than BMNR, of course. It's not getting as much love as BMNR because it doesn't have Tom Lee as chairman. We have covered UiPath before a long time ago, and last week when the announcement was made, right? But I'm not that excited about UiPath, if I'm being honest. What's the reason markets open in negative? Any specific news this morning? So I don't know. Heat map wise, we're still fine, right? We're doing well, I think. Mostly greens. Intel is down a little bit. Broadcom is down a little bit, but the names that we follow are doing okay today. The 10-year doesn't move, and the markets. So the Dow Jones is down 0.2, but S&P is up 0.1, and Nasdaq is up 0.4. So I don't think we're down, or I don't think we can call it a down right now. Something in my eye. I know you like Iren, but what do you think of Riot? You look, Riot, what is it? Mara, CleanSpark. Although CleanSpark and Mara, they're together, right? Working together, or they have a stake one in the other, or something like that, if I remember correctly. I'll be honest, I don't follow these companies that close. I follow Iren very closely now that I own it, and I follow the others, so I cannot share my opinion on the other Bitcoin miners that have pivoted away a little bit here as well. I do think that I've seen some comments from CleanSpark talking about Iren and how CleanSpark might seem undervalued because they own X amount of Bitcoin on the balance sheet and Iren just sells them. It's like, yes, that's their business. That's how they fund the AI cloud business, which I prefer, of course. He was okay. Jose talked about why. I guess I'll have to check the video out. Because some people did mention it last time we were live with Jose, but I couldn't remember what and why. Because Hive has also been popping up on in the comments and in the chat, probably because the stock is up so much more recently. The trade desk is rebounding nicely from the lows here. It's a good company, but I have my exposure in advertising, so I don't need another advertising play. I don't need another advertising play. I have Google, I have Meta. You could now say that PayPal gives me a little bit of advertising. I have Amazon, so that's also one. And so I'm covered. I'm covered on that front. Rklb looking very, very nice, although it is overbought right now. AST is overbought as well. A lot of names. CoreWeave not anymore. Nebulous not anymore. AMD is. Micron is. Marvell is a little bit. United Health is now a little bit. Rubrik is obviously not. Nvidia is not. Duolingo is, let's see, is not. Is not. Shift4 is definitely not. Was actually oversold a couple of days ago. Robinhood is was overbought. DLocal is definitely not. Uber, nope. Palantir, no, not overbought. Amazon definitely. I think Amazon is. I know people like to go long certain companies 2x. I think Amazon is like one of those candidates because this thing, it's once they show AWS growth acceleration, I think this thing goes to $300 over the next couple of months. Nu is not overbought, was actually overbought 2-3 weeks ago. Meta is definitely not. No, actually close to being oversold if it goes down a little bit more. Google was extremely overbought. Now, not anymore. HIMS, I don't think so. No. PayPal, obviously. No, not obviously. PayPal was very close actually to being overbought. And it's flat. It was down more than. Yeah, it's flat. Okay. Touching wood. I'm not jinxing anything right now. Applied Digital is overbought. SoFi is not. Zeta is not. Intel is still. BMNR is not. Oscar was, but not anymore. Reddit was a while back, but not anymore. And Iron is still. Iron is very far away from the moving average, like almost 50% from the 50 and 74% from the 200. So, yeah. Did I wait? What? Did I see Nebulous Sinex deals? No, I did not. I did not. Is it a new deal? Just came out. Okay. So, TD Synex or Synex partners with Nebulous to bring the high-performance AI cloud to IT ecosystems. The partnership gives TD Synex partners access to Nebulous full-stack AI cloud, combining hyperscalers flexibility with supercomputer performance, powered by Nvidia GPUs. Blah 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 blah. This move helps democratize the modern AI market and empowers its partners to build, train, and deploy AI models faster, all while maintaining predictable cost and high performance. For context, the company has more than 150,000 customers and in 100. Okay. But I still have no clue what they do. So let's have a look. This is a company in Fremont, California, where Tesla has a factory. So what do? They're a leading IT distributor and solutions aggregator for the IT ecosystem. Okay, good. The better it will be. So with that, I think it's time maybe to end. So I'll give Restream the time to get their thing together. And by the way, just because some stocks are overbought does not mean that they're a definite sell. We've seen a lot of stocks being overbought for a long period of time, and yet then they pull back a little bit, but not such a big deal. Not such a big deal. Anyways, I think it's time for me to log off a little bit so Restream can really fix their thing. I'll send the support chat a little message because this is unacceptable. Unacceptable. So to finish it off, this is what we're looking at right now. We've got Iron down 3.5, Reddit 2.8, Zeta 1.3, Oscar 1.4, Intel down 1, Applied Digital 0.5, Google 0.3, SoFi 0.1, Meta is basically flat, AST is up 15%, Rklb 9, CoreWeave 5, AMD 5, Micron 4, Nebulous 3. PayPal is now actually green, 0.38. So I think now is the perfect time for me to sign off. But we shall see each other. We shall see each other later today. I'll schedule the stream in a bit. Later today, we're going to talk with Emir, fundamentals, DCFs, PayPal, and SoFi. So it's going to be a very, very interesting streams. And I'll actually do a little bit more streams with him in the future, talking about more mafia type companies like Moody's, S&P Global, Mercado Libre. We'll talk a little bit more about those companies in the future. So make sure you have those notification bells on. Thank you all for joining. Apologies for some of the crashes in the stream, out of my control. At least this time is out of my control. Appreciate all the new members and the